Okay, let's go ahead and put this thing online on the emulator and let's see what happens. So let's go in here, Who Active. We're going to download. And yep, let's hit OK on that. And okay. Let's take one more look, make sure, yes, we got our subroutine in there. And let's put this thing into run mode. And immediately nothing happens, which is exactly what we would expect to happen. Let's pull up our program tags and let's try to put this thing into a mode. So I'm going to energize our start button, and immediately you can see right here that our mode went to mode 1. You can also see that right down here. So let's turn that back off and let's try our stop button. And our stop button puts us back offline, puts us back into mode 0. That's what we wanted to see. So let's go back into our standby mode and let's try to close our low level switch and let's see if we can start filling the tank. So there we go, and it should take 5 seconds and then we should see some action. And we didn't. So for some reason it looks like we got stuck, and our mode control, you can see we're getting the fill signal in, we're getting a 1, but our mode did not change. So we have a problem. Let's go ahead and go back into program mode. Let's go back offline and let's take a look at our logic inside of our mode control and see if we can figure out what's happening. So let's scroll down, and here is where we're trying to set our mode right here for fill. And you know what? Whenever I was setting up this logic, you see how I've got these two equals conditions side by side? That doesn't work because that's saying we have to be in mode 1 and mode 3 at the same time. Those should not be in series. Those should be in parallel because we're looking for one or the other. So if I let me drag that, we need to put those on a branch like that. And you can see I made the same mistake all the way down. So let's go ahead and fix it. And this is why we debug, because everybody makes mistakes. Let's add a level here. Let's add a level here. And man, quit grabbing the tags. I swear these are the worst things in the world to try to just grab and drag and drop. Okay, that's another rung straightened out. Let's get this one back on track. There we go. One more, and I think we should be good on that. So let's close out of here. Let's go back into our function block diagram, re-download, and get this thing back to good. Let's get this thing running again. Did we download? It looks like I've got an error. So what's that? For some reason, somehow that got changed. So I should be in either mode 1 or 2 or 3. And I don't know how that even happened, but I think that's what it's looking for. Let me scroll back up a little bit and get rid of this error message and make sure that looks like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, evaluating mode all the way down. Okay, so let's try our download one more time. And go. We're in program mode. Good, let's put this thing back into run. We are running. Yes, okay. Now let's pull our tags back up and put this thing back into a standby mode by closing the start button. That did it. I'm going to open that back up. And now let's go ahead and try our low switch one more time. 5-second delay, and where is it? Where is it? There we go. We've got our mode 2. Okay, so that's working. And let's test it up to the high switch. We're going to close that and see if we can get into a drain mode after 5 seconds. There we go. We've got our mode 3. And from here, let's just try to keep going up and see if we can get a high alarm. So I'm going to close that high switch. Another 5 seconds goes by and bam, there we go. We are in mode 5. So let's open that switch back up, and we've got our high switch. We'll go ahead and open that back up, and that should leave us in a standby mode when we hit the alarm reset. But you know what? I see a problem. I don't think we have our alarms latching. I don't think we set them up to be latched. We didn't. But for some reason, even though we have 2 zeros coming into this alarm, it's still showing as active, which means it's not going to let us make a change. So how can we get rid of that alarm? What I think is happening, I've got normal mode as a condition for the alarm, and that normal mode is set by us being between 1 and 3 on our mode display, which means once we went into an alarm, that disabled this function block, and it disabled itself while it was active, meaning that it can't deactivate itself now. So it looks like we're going to need a separate kind of mode to enable these alarms. So let's go ahead and go back into program mode and take ourselves back offline, and I'm going to come back over here to compare, if it'll let me click on it. Well, for some reason it doesn't. Okay, there we go. Compare, limit, and let's bring this other limit just right over here somewhere. Well, maybe down here. We've actually got some room down here. And we need to create a few references. So this first reference is going to be 1, and that will be our low. We need another reference down here, which is actually going to be 5. And we'll just back that up right here. And then the value that we're going to test is going to be our normal mode. So let's go ahead and copy that. Create ourselves a nice reference right here. And we can pull that down right in between the 1 and the 5. Whoops, I got it a little bit forward. There we go. And this is going to energize something that's not normal mode. We'll call it ALM ELIG MODE. So alarm eligible mode. And that will be a new Boolean. And I will copy that because that's also going to be the one that enables alarm 2. And then I'm going to create an output for that, bring that right down here, and drop that in and link everything up. So now we've got another mode that we're going to look at, and this isn't exactly an elegant solution, but I am trying to really just work all this stuff in here so that you can see it all happening. I want it all to be function block for the most part. That is actually supposed to be mode display, so that's what we want to look at. Alright, so now I think we've got something, once I wire it, that has a better chance of working and disabling the alarm. Let's find out. So let's come back up here and download this guy. Send it, go, run, work. And let's come back up here, put it into run mode. Yes, bring up our parameters. Let's start the system with a 1. Got it. Whoops, there we go. And let's try and go straight to our high alarm. So 5 seconds and we should get put into mode 5. There it is. And what happens when I disable that? And good, instantly our alarm disappears, but we're still in mode 5 because we haven't done anything different to actually change our alarm condition. So from there, let's try to energize the low switch. 5 seconds goes by and I would expect us to go into mode 4, and it hasn't happened yet, so why not? I actually see the low alarm coming in, but I don't see this mode changing. So let's go back into that mode control logic and try to figure out why not. We come down here and we've got our low alarm in, and because we're in mode 5, it's not going to let us. We set it up that way, I just forgot. So from here, what we need to do is, the only thing we can is set up a reset. So let's come back into here and let's get rid of that low switch. And what we actually need to do is set ourselves an alarm reset. So when we hit that, we should go back into mode 1, which we did. And now we could theoretically go into a low. So let's go ahead and close that low switch. 5 seconds and see if we don't get mode 4. There it is. And we can get out of that and close our alarm reset one more time. And that takes us back to mode 1. And that would do it. I think we've got a working system here. So not only did you actually get to see a lot of these different blocks in action and actually see how to create a program, but the cool thing is we actually set up our own custom function block and created some ladder logic to make it work, and then we can just wire that right into the diagram and it works exactly like all of the out-of-the-box blocks. So very cool stuff. I will go ahead and leave it here for now. That was a really good introduction to function blocks, and that's not the last we're going to see of them. Obviously, we're going to see them in future sections as well. So, hope you got the idea. Hope you see how these things work together. You've got to admit, they look great, they're really cool, and they're time savers. So, hope you like them. I think second to ladder logic, these are probably the ones you'll turn to the most.